Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another mobile VR review. This week's game is a full-on first-person shooter for the Google Daydream. It's got an apocalyptic setting, hordes of zombies, and more guns and ammo than any mortal human could possibly carry. It's called Last Z Killer, and we're going to take a look at it right now. Last Z Killer was released on May 3rd, 2017 and is available on the Daydream store for $5.99. It's developed by Abumu VR, a relatively young and independent studio with offices in Europe, the Ukraine, and California. The first cardboard prototypes were built in late 2016, and they've managed to go from that to a full Daydream game in just a few months. Last Z Killer is, as I said, a first-person shooter. You're dropped into a level filled with destroyed buildings and burning wreckage, given a gun or two, and let loose. The objective is to find your way through the carnage and exit the level through a creaky gate. Of course, along the way, you'll have to blast through literally scores of the undead. As you work through the 20 levels, you're given access to a total of 5 weapons ranging from your standard handgun and shotgun to fully automatics and the very satisfying minigun. Enemies are all undead and range from farmers that are only dangerous at melee range to what appear to be zombified members of the NRA that are shockingly accurate marksmen for being dead. Each level is essentially a sandbox, with tall brown walls at the edges to keep you inside. The level itself is populated with houses, buildings, and other assorted debris, in addition to the aforementioned Walking Dead. I'll get to the graphics in a minute, but gameplay-wise this leads to quite a bit of wandering. You see, all components of the environment look fairly similar. To make matters worse, you can only see directly in front of yourself due to the limited range of your flashlight. It's great for the atmosphere of the game, but it can make navigating somewhat tedious, and you feel like a rat in a maze never knowing if you're anywhere near the exit. I understand that's probably done to elicit player emotion, but when I find the start of the level for the 5th time, I'd really like to know where the hell I'm supposed to go. More diverse level design would be welcome, but this is a comparatively small issue. A bigger problem with the game is how the enemies spawn. Much of the time it feels like zombies are spawning just behind me. I can run for 10 minutes seeing nothing, then turn around and see a horde of 20 undead. Not only does this mean I have to turn around periodically to fight, which is harder to do on the Daydream than with a mouse and keyboard, but it also means you can just sprint through the level without shooting if you want. It would make more sense if the zombies always spawned in front of you and forced you to fight them to get to the level exit. Another oversight is the lack of way to save progress. You can go back and play any level you've completed until you close the application. When you restart, all progress will be lost and all the levels will once again be locked, forcing you to start from square one. Control-wise, this game feels like Eclipse in that the touchpad is used for forward, back, and strafing motions like WASD on a keyboard. Turning is of course handled by turning your head, clicking the touchpad fires your weapon, and the app button brings up a menu where you can switch weapons. It actually works really well, and I was able to circle strafe after just a few minutes of practice. It does take a conscious effort to move and shoot at the same time, given those actions are controlled by essentially the same button, but it gets the job done. It worked in Eclipse, it works in Last Z Killer, and I'd love to see more of this on mobile VR. The graphics in Last Z Killer are quite well done. I know some people will be turned off by the excessively blocky motif, but both the environments and enemies are clean, consistent, and keep the performance high. I didn't notice any slowdown when I had to cut through hordes of 10 or 20 zombies, and fire and smoke effects are attractive as well. The level designs are simple flat plains covered in stuff, but the streets and alleys look great and feel appropriately foreboding. There are some graphical glitches here and there. Polygons on some of the scenery flicker as you pass by them like they're clipping through themselves. Zombie animation is smooth if a bit limited. The zombie models are extremely blocky, but they're textured creatively and there is quite a variety. I've noticed a few animation glitches with zombie death, having the parts of the model fly apart in every direction, or having them crumple and then shake violently. Lastly, the ammo and health counters are in the top right and left corners of the screen, and are almost impossible to see, so running out of ammo or dying will often come as a surprise. The sound design doesn't fare as well. Weapons sound okay, and there's some light instrumental music in the background, neither of which are particularly noteworthy. My main issue with the sound is the missed opportunity though. There's lots of spooky ambient noise and some voice whispering about brains looping every 3 seconds, which goes from boring to irritating pretty fast. The enemies themselves make some noise when they attack, but that's about it. I've run around seeing nothing, then turn around to have 20 zombies attack me. How is a crowd of flesh-eating ghouls that damn quiet? The sounds of shambling corpses off in the distance or around a corner would do wonders for the atmosphere and immersion, especially if they were linked to nearby enemies. As it stands, the sound feels a little random, included simply to create tension without making full use of 3D audio. Comfort is on par with Eclipse, maybe a little worse. There's plenty of motion in this game and your peripheral vision is completely unrestricted, so newer or more sensitive users should expect to feel a little sickness. Using head tracking for turning, confining motion to a 2D plane, and limiting run speed all help greatly, but this is still one of the more motion-intense games on the Daydream platform. Being able to move freely in a semi-open world feels great. Exploring burned-out buildings and peering around corners looking for zombies is surprisingly immersive, and it's not really hindered by the few graphical glitches. I think it's the sound here that's really holding Last Z Killer back from a higher level of immersion, and some solid and practical 3D audio would be a very welcome addition in a future update. Judging from the screenshots, I get the feeling a lot of people will overlook this game, and that's a bit of a shame. I had a lot of fun mowing down crowds of zombies with the minigun, and walking through the broken and burning landscape is quite engaging. The level designs are a little hard to navigate, but I can overlook that. I think an overhaul to the sound design and the way enemies spawn would take this game from neat to amazing. In its current form, Last Z Killer feels a bit like a demo or a beta release, which may not appeal to everybody at the $6 price point. That being said, the game offers 20 levels, 5 weapons, and loads of zombies, and it is very refreshing to not be confined to rails in a mobile VR shooter. I can't quite recommend Last Z Killer as a must-have, but if you're looking for some spooky run-and-gun action on the Daydream, this is it. Thanks for watching. Got something to say about this video, an opinion of the game itself, or VR in general? Leave a comment to let me know what you think. And if you like what you saw and you want to see more of this, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Remember, there's a new video every week, and be sure to check out my other reviews as well. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.